Your self-image has been created by other people. If you have never thought of your self-image up until now, you'll be very surprised to know that your self-image, what you think of yourself, has been determined by other people. Normally by teachers, normally by parents, grandparents, friends, and friends' parents. These people have all projected their views, their perceptions onto you, thereby making you more realistic, taking away dreams, giving you an illusion of education, giving you an illusion of wisdom, when actually you've lost who you really are. That self-image created by other people has led you to self-consciousness, fear, anxiety. When you add subconsciousness to fear and anxiety, you get very, very bad results, and you get big barriers and sticking points. I'm going to show you how to get out of these on the golf course by using something very, very special. I'm going to demonstrate it for you, and slowly I hope you begin to realize what it is that's going to take you out of the current perceptions and into a new perception. Your self-image is so powerful because you cannot outperform your self-image. You cannot do better than what you see yourself as. That's why on one hand, you're playing very well. You find ways to screw up by putting pressure on yourself to keep playing well. What am I doing right? I have to copy paste. I have to continue doing that. Something new is happening here. And slowly you start to descend into what your self-image actually tells you to be, which is not as good as that. Or you start to play very badly and you start seeing your self-image telling you that you shit and that you suck and that's how you play golf, and you get stuck there. The other thing about this is that under pressure or under stress, you revert back to your training. So if your training is very low in terms of practice and playtime, you're going to revert back to that. If your training with your self-image is very low, you're going to revert back to the self-image you had, which is very poor. So we have to begin improving our self-image to raise our standards and raise our level of thinking, taking away this anxiety, doubt, fear, uncertainty that puts us back to our self-perception. That prior shot has no bearing on this shot. I have a 9-wood in hand. I've got 235. The pins at the back, I don't want to go long because middle of the green is an uphill putt straight toward that hole. I've got a 9-wood in hand. 9-wood likes to draw. The wind is slightly into me off the right, so it should push the ball a little bit more right to left. I can go at the hole here. Beautiful. Got a great lie in the fairway. And if I reach the front edge, I've got a long putt, which is money. Or if I reach the front edge short, I've got an easy chip, probably a 7-iron all the way up the green, put it to 3 feet, make the par. Okay, let's find a target. The target is actually the pin, because if I draw it off the pin, I'm going to the fat side of the green, and that's absolutely fantastic. Front of the green. Hope you're picking it up. Your self-talk will be a fundamental first step toward improving that self-image. What are you telling yourself on the golf course for each shot, between shots, after a good shot, after a bad shot? The wheels are going to come off, don't worry about it. Oh, I normally start off like this, great first nine, and back nine, everything falls to pieces. Oh, why do I even get out of bed in the morning? I'm so shit. Oh, I can't hit a driver in play. I can't do this to save my life. Imagine I said that shit to you. Imagine I came up to you and said, hey, you're playing nicely this nine, but the wheels are going to fall off second nine. Biatch. You don't want to play golf with me. And yet you have to live with yourself every second of the day. On the golf course, you have to live with yourself every single shot. What do I tell myself now when I have like a freaking 90-foot putt here? What do I tell myself? Oh, here comes a 3-putt, or, well, 2 good shots and I'm going to walk off with a bogey here. I used to do that, and I used to create the bogeys out of thin air before even hitting the first putt. So now we have to go into our process, and now we begin to understand how to improve the self-image is to create a process. And I'm going to show you how to do that. The first step though is self-talk. What are we looking at on this putt? Distance control. Okay, I'm going down a hill here. The hole is on a plateau. I've just reached the bottom of this slope. It's still a little bit uphill. I'm looking. Okay, it's going to break left to right for sure. All I have to do is get the distance control right. I want to get this in the hole. I'm going to focus on that pin as if it were a tee in the ground for distance control. I'm going to go well left. This is rolling at an 8.5 on the stimp meter. How do I hit the putt for 8.5 on the stimp? Okay, I've got my line. Now we're going to give it the 8.5 speed. Come on, Maddie. 8.5. Okay. Now we've given ourselves about a 3-footer. That's it. That shot is now gone. 3-footer. How much do I love a 3-footer? I love 3-footers. 3.5 feet. We look at the burn mark. We see the burn mark on the left edge. That means the grain is moving toward there. So we might have to go on the inside of the right of the hole here. I've already forgotten the previous shot. I'm so into this shot. Pick my line, align my putter. Everything leaves except my target. 2-putt. I could easily have told myself that was going to be a bogey 3-putt. Instead, I went one shot at a time, talking to myself in a way that's money. Every time I make that 3-footer, I build a little bit of confidence. I put a badge on my chest. I'm the greatest putter on YouTube. A delusion? Maybe. But a delusion that helps me. Granny killer, you want to be better. You want to improve your self-image. We need something different though. You can't be like everybody else who has been programmed. You need to break your programming. So you need to have confidentiality. A lot of people like winners, but they don't like the confidentiality that comes with it. So what you do with your self-image, you protect it from being that guy. You know, that guy who's acting too confidential. It's a turn-off, right? But unfortunately, if you want to do something good, you want to do something different, you freaking need that confidentiality. Whether it's real or fake, it doesn't matter. Your brain doesn't know. You have to get the confidentiality and let go of that self-image that you're not that guy. You're different. You're a nice guy. No. Get the confidentiality to be able to move past your current self-image. It's very, very important. One of those watershed moments for me was understanding I hit the ball far. I was holding back on my distances for so long on this channel because I didn't want to be unrelatable. But I thought to myself, this is exactly the problem. My self-image now is to be shorter hitting, is to be more relatable in case the audience doesn't like it. But then I realized I couldn't give a shizer. How am I going to be myself if I don't let my self-image become who I really am? So from here, 158, I'm hitting a pitching wedge. I'm slightly downhill, down breeze. I know that I normally tug a shot I'm going at, so I know I can go just right of the pin. I tug it toward the pin or leave it just right, and I'm on the green. I have enough power, I have enough ability to get this ball to fly all the way there out the sweet spot, and I believe in it. There's no doubt at all. It's just purely what I'm going to do. And what I'm going to do is just hit this pitching wedge on a line with something lined up in front of my ball. And now I clear my mind, focus on that flag, just right of it, and I just drop the hammer on the back of the ball. And exactly what I said happened. I pulled it slightly to the left because when I go at a shot, that's what I do. And now I've left myself, 12 feet to the pin for the birdie on the left side. Have you started to pick this up? Because we're going to elaborate fully on the next hole. When your self-image is terrible, your self-talk is terrible, you have a roller coaster of a golf round. You go from positive to negative to deep negative to high positive to deep negative, having these massive swings in mood and score. We need to remove this roller coaster where we start to think in the future about how bad it's going to be or how good it's going to be in the future, and thereby screw ourselves with this weird prediction of what we're going to do based on what happened before. On the low side. On the low side. And that thing you need is a process. A process is something you can own. A process is the only thing you can control. You cannot control the outcome of shots. We can control the process. I hope you've noticed I've had a process on every single shot using certain kind of language and talk for what I want to do, not what I don't want to do. I forget the previous shot, then I hit the next shot, fully engrossed in that shot. The process is something you can own. That can be yours. And you can use that on each shot, like taking a little bubble with a force field around you from one shot, boop, popping it after it's done, moving to the next shot and creating the force field again. If you can take your little force field with you, you become impervious to other people, you become impervious to distractions, you become impervious to yourself. You actually create a little bubble for yourself where you guarantee success by being perfect in your process. The outcome is not going to be perfect, ever. You're going to screw up, you're going to hit bad shots, 9 out of 10 shots are not going to be to your plan. But if we have that process, we can just pop it, move to the next shot, create it again. And that's what I'm going to show you. The process is your superpower. So what I do is, I don't want to hit this ball with much of a draw toward the bunkers. I'm going to hit my mini driver I know how it flies. I'm going to hit it off the deck, goes a bit lower into the breeze. We're not going to reach the water down there, so I have full confidentiality in the shot. Then I come behind the ball. I use the think box to think about my shot. I see the ball flying up at that dry tree, and hopefully in my mind it's going to fade toward the middle of the fairway. If it doesn't, I have a bit of space on the left-hand side. I pick that target specifically. I'm going to hit this shot with the intention of hitting it onto the top of that tree. I can't reach the top of that tree, but it removes all the minefields in front of me. My mind is clear once I leave the think box to the play box over the decision line. Everything I say to myself is geared toward the shot. None of the history of the previous shot comes into play. None of the next shots are going to come into play. It's only this shot. The only shot I think about is this one, when what shot it will leave me. That's all. Not the putt on the green, not the approach shot into the green, just this shot, and then what I'm going to leave myself. I'll line up this shot, and it may not work out because I'm talking like hell. It's not part of my process. Line it up to that place, and then swing to the target. Last thing I do is I look at the target, the top of that tree, and swing to that. I don't like to take a lot of time over the ball. This is way too many waggles. I normally take one or two. Look at my target. Don't stay still for too long, and hit the ball to the target. Oh, that's actually money. You're not always going to go to plan, but if you can do this part correct, this is perfect. Whatever happens out there doesn't matter, because you're going to go to the next shot, whether it's a drop, whether it's reteeing OB, and you're going to have this process to control again. The other thing you want to remember is the post-shot routine. Once you leave this shot, what I like to do is envision what I really wanted to happen. That was kind of what I wanted to happen, but I'm going to envision another shot with slightly less fade, more toward the middle of the fairway. If I hit a really bad shot, I re-imprint a good shot on my mind of what it should have looked like, thereby increasing the number of good shots I see in my mind versus bad shots I see in my mind by the end of the round. Give myself 10 yards to think about the shot and what happened. After that 10 yards, the force field breaks, and now we're on mental vacation to the next shot where we start our process all over again. I walk up to my ball. I'm already assessing, okay, slightly upslope lie, beautiful. We got a tree in our way. Okay, that's fine. We just have a tree in our way. There's no sugar and spice. I'm not putting extra seasoning on the reality. You have to state the reality for what it really is. I faded a little bit too much, so I'll use that for feedback next time. Now, I've got a tree in my way. That's all. What are we going to do to solve this problem right in front of us? We come up and we see the lie is on the cow grass, unfortunately. So that's going to be a little bit sticky, and it's growing into us a little bit. No problem. We're going to have a pop-up shot because of that. That's wonderful. We don't have many options of getting over this tree. To go right is not going to be feasible because I'm going to leave myself way too far into the green from the rough. The best bet is to go over the shortest part of this tree. I'm not going to hit a fade that could potentially go in the water if it doesn't fade. I'm going to hit a shot high. And knowing my trajectory, because I know myself, it's also very important to actually start studying yourself, know your distances, your trajectories, know your habits during a golf round and how you think. You can start adapting your strategy to that. So I'm going to go over the middle of the gap on the top of the tree there. In my opinion, I could get an 8 iron over there. So what I'm going to do is take a 9 iron to ensure I get over there. And whatever I leave in is what I leave in. That's because I can't do much else. It's either pitching wedge or 9 iron on this hole. So we take the 9er, we find our line, we accept the situation. We don't get angry that we can't go for the green in 2, how unfair life is that we got a tree in front of us. We just solve this problem with our positive self-talk. If you start off negative, if you start off with I can't do this, I can't do that, you've already lost. Once you give up beforehand, you've already lost. If you go in with a mindset that you can try, you can find out how, you can find out why something happened, you can begin solving more problems, increasing your arsenal of mental game as well as golf shots. You're going to see people taking practice swings here to feel the turf, but all the thinking happens behind the ball. Now we found that we can clip the turf real nice. We look for our line over there. We anticipate a shot shape and then see how it's going to land. We envision the shot in our mind. I see a shot tracer going over, landing, bouncing to the left because the fairway slopes left. And from there, I'm going to leave myself a nice shot in. So I see this trajectory. I might have to just tilt my shoulders back to be able to hit it higher intentionally, move the ball up in my stance. Maybe open the face a bit so I don't draw it too much. Hopefully it fades a bit more because the water's on the left. Just tilt my shoulders back. Wow, I could have probably got a freaking 7 or 6 iron over there, and we'll use that for the future. Money shot. Fantastic. Your process is going to be your process. You need a little trigger that gets you in the process. For me, because I make videos, my tripod with my phone on it there is the trigger. As soon as I click the record button, now I'm in my process for the video. If I don't have a video, all I have is get to the ball, stop the cart, pull out the rangefinder. Now I'm in my shot. It's already started. We have 119 yards. We've assessed that the pin is middle of the green, but we have a big fat opening on the right. With the ball slightly above my feet, with a higher lofted club, I may pull it over just a little bit, and knowing my tendencies with the wedges and shots that I like to attack, they do move a bit left, so I'm already starting to find a little target here. 119, we're going to probably hit like a 48 degree into the green, put it up at that tree on the right hand side on the slope. Okay, fantastic. The main reason that you want this process done is that you're going to see that the emotional control and decision-making control you have is the most fun you can have on a golf course. Yes, there's hedonistic pursuits of getting drunk, having edibles, eating 16 Big Macs on the golf course, vomiting from having donuts, whatever. To be honest, I cannot imagine what the next 2 or 3 days would be like after that. I'm nearly 40 years old. I discovered this in my early 20s. And you may be asking, well, who are you to tell me this? Why aren't you on tour then if you're so good at this? Well, you want to know something? I came 4th in my club championships 3 times. Boom. And if you believe that you cannot do this because you're not good enough, or that this is not going to help you as a 20-something plus handicap because you can't hit the shots, you know what? You've already given up, which is exactly my point. If you believe that you are not good enough or this is not going to help you, it will not, because whatever you believe is true is going to come true because it's part of your self-image. This is part of changing your self-image. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But if you want to, start creating a little process and bubble for yourself that you can really own to become a better golfer, more in control of yourself. The process is as important as your mechanics. The process is as important as your body, your muscles. You have to practice this process. That's how you're going to get better at it. Do not hit another golf ball on a driving range, chipping green or putting green without a clear purpose, intention, and a process that you're trying to ingrain. When you don't transfer from your driving range, practice green to the golf course, it's because you haven't implemented a process. When you have practiced your process, you get better at your process. Your process takes shorter. Your process feels stronger. It's like flexing a muscle. It's like a bicep. You do bicep curls every single day, you're going to have guns like a crazy person. You practice your process every single day, even in your mind, even if you're not at a golf course. What you do, you can even write it down. At the driving range, before every shot, full process. On the putting green, full process. Stop wasting your time scraping and hitting at the driving range, hitting pointless chips and putts, missing the hole. Everything you do from now on needs to be part of your process. That process is going to get better, stronger. More shots can be put into your arsenal you can bring into your process. Your process is sacred. It's all you can control. You're going to be the boss. Process over outcome. Do it and do it well. Putting process. Look behind the ball. See my line instinctually. Okay, the line I see is based on the speed I've chosen. Speed I've chosen is based on an 8.5 stimp green. A little bit downhill. Okay, look at the target line. See the visual of a putt on a video game. Beautiful. Line up, find a little spot in front of the ball. Line up to that little spotty. Make sure I get the pace correct, the feeling in my putting stroke. Let's do it, and let's do it tomorrow. Just overread it, but a great putt. And in that process, I'm proud of the process. I'm proud of every process I've put into play here. The shot doesn't always come off as you want, but you can then use it as feedback based on your process to improve, adapt, and become better. Here we go. Process on the short putts. I always just look inside the hole and just keep my head down forever, or look at the hole, jam it, bam it. Woo! Now you may wonder how that improves your self-image. The process improves your self-image because you're not on this roller coaster talking bad to yourself, talking good to yourself, treating yourself like an arsehole, getting attached to the outcome, bad shots, you suck, what the hell's going on? You create a bubble for yourself where you are the man, and that improves the self-image in that process. In between the processes, you're looking at other stuff. You're thinking about only page subscription expiring. You think about how much fentanyl you need when you watch a good video. Whatever you're doing, but it's not about the shot. Then when you get to the shot, it's the process. You are becoming a better version of yourself in the process. Stronger, much more intelligent in terms of golf IQ. Every single thing you're doing in that process is strengthening, improving your self-image as you change the language you use with yourself and the way you see your shots. That's it.